The topic of today's chat is how to get to $100 per day with Search Arb. And here with me I have Kiril, one of our campaign managers. You have been with us for, is it 2 years now? Or?
Almost, yeah. It's 1.5 years.
Yeah, and you came in without any prior knowledge about buying traffic, right?
Absolutely zero.
Yeah.
Previously, I was as a photographer, and then I worked in an insurance company for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then straight out of there.
You're like an olive oil, extra virgin when it comes to media buying.
Yeah, like every terminology was like complete like nonsense to me. But
Yeah.
here we are.
Do you recall how long did it take until you made the profit back when you started?
Oh, I think I could check that. I think it was like a few months probably.
Yeah.
Until I started to make some kind of money.
Because I think many viewers are like just getting started, trying stuff out. And we had a call before today where we talked about when you have a new idea, you're excited about it, you see all the potential with it, you're like, you have uninformed optimism about the project. And then later when you start to work with it, you reach a stage of informed pessimism, right? Because you then see, oh, there's a couple of challenges here. It's not just that money will start raining over me immediately without me having to face some hardships or go through stress or learn new things. And I bring it up because that's the same in any kind of business, in any kind of venture that you take. So just people hearing that it took you a couple of months to reach like a break even or profitability helps like people to estimate the horizon, and especially since you were like without any prior knowledge. But then on the other hand, you had amazing coaches in the company.
Yeah, I think that helped a lot because I'm now looking at the numbers from September, and I start in September actually work.
September 2022, huh?
2022 exactly.
Yeah.
And that month were already profitable. Like I started like the same month as I started, I became profitable.
Okay.
Probably closer to the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because I do remember how hard it was to start with the creatives, because at that time we did everything like ourselves from the start, like creatives, research, keyword research, like you made up the text, the primary text headlines, everything. Now it's much easier, or like faster, I could say, not easier, but faster.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're buying on Meta exclusively, right?
Exclusively, I have tested a little bit of TikTok, but Meta is the way to go for me right now.
Okay. Yeah, there it also helps, like when you're in a group that you then see, oh, it is possible, right? If you're on your own, which I think many people are in this game when they start out, then you're not certain. Does this even work? And you heard stuff about it on a conference and so on, but you don't know for yourself. And I think like we're not really trained by the school system to deal with problems, so we have an uncertain outcome. In school, you always know there is a right answer, but in real life, you might be working on something that doesn't lead to anything. Then how do you keep yourself motivated, and how do you keep the belief and so on? So that's helpful too.
If they're like without you or without the company or without the group, I would say I would probably quit on the second week, because it was loss after loss. And then if you don't have any guidance, like if you don't have any guidelines to follow, or to a goal to achieve, if, for example, I would have been just like a single entrepreneur and try this thing out, probably on the second week I would just quit, because it wasn't profitable at the start. It was in that if I would have just lost all my money there in the first few weeks, you just have to grind, and you have to find your path. And it's beneficial to have a group of people that are doing the same thing, just so you know that it's possible.
To have some form of mentors or role models or something. Yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah, the topic is how to make $100 a day with Search Arb in today's environment, which, if we're like upfront, is tougher one than when you started out. It was easier.
Yes. Yeah.
The field has changed.
think-
In what sense has it changed?
I think it's more expensive right now to advertise. Let's begin with that. And like on Facebook side, I think the ads are much more expensive. And on the other side, say on the sell side, it's also the revenues have come a little bit down. So if we take from the both ends a little bit out, then it could be crucial for you.
But yeah, again, it is possible.
It is possible.
To
Here we are.
Yeah,
here we are. Still in this industry, still
Yeah.
doing the campaigns,
Yeah.
still doing the ads. So it is possible, but it's just harder. It requires more work for you. It's possible.
Yeah. What kind of campaign are we going to look at today?
So I chose for us health-related campaign, which is knee arthritis. But this is perfect example of a successful campaign.
Yeah.
This doesn't count many unsuccessful campaigns like that was previously.
What's your success ratio roughly? Like how many campaigns do you have to launch to get a positive one?
I would say from 120 campaigns, probably 20 or 30 would be
okay.
positive.
So like roughly like 20%, a little bit lower, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like this month, or start like from the beginning of this month, I could say it's a lower percent.
This month has been tough.
Beginning of the year.
Tough.
Yeah. Let's say that. Would you want me to screen share or just tell the numbers, or what do you want?
But let's before we jump into that, I find it's interesting the success rate of your launches. And I'm going to connect it with the viewer question because people write them every now and then would like help with their campaigns. And then someone wrote me the other day and was saying, yeah, I'm making like a 60% negative ROI. When will it turn around? Like, how? You're just laughing. Let's try not to laugh at our viewers. No, but it's what signals do you look for to determine, how do you determine this campaign I toss away immediately and this one I work on?
Definitely RPC, like revenue per click.
Okay. And is there do you want it to be above $1 or what kind of? It also depends on the geo.
It depends on it depends a lot of the geo and the language as well. So, for example, if that's an US campaign that are targeting Spanish people or like Spanish-speaking people, I would say then 60 cents is the right amount, like to be above. If it's below 60, I would probably see for 3 days. If the learning process of Facebook ads, if it doesn't go like significantly down, then I will cut the campaign. The 3 days is usually, it's a good indicator. $20 a day for 3 days. If the learning process is completed and you're still like minus 60% ROI, minus 50, minus 40, I would cut the campaign at that point.
We're on the same page.
And sometimes it's not about the vertical itself. It could be just the domain, it could be the setup, it could be the learning process that went wrong. There is like for this campaign that we will learn today, this campaign is 5th launch of the same vertical. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd failed, but then with the right angle and the right keywords on the 5th time it worked.
Yeah, but here's you say the right angle, so you changed something significantly versus the other campaigns, I assume.
No, I wouldn't say significantly. Like the small changes usually, like the small change and tinkering could be enough at that point. So I didn't change anything significantly. It's just new creatives, fresh start, and then something clicked.
This is going to be unsatisfying for the audience to hear because they want to hear something like, because then it sounds super, super random. That,
Yeah,
oh, you just have
is.
to launch 5 times over. Like, if we think, like, if I would guide someone, I would take a different approach. Okay, you're much closer to the, like, everyday, like, actually launching in today's environment. I love simplicity in instructions, and if you
Okay.
like simplify it a lot, it could just be like, there are campaigns that you launch and they directly are positive ROI wise. Then there are campaigns that you launch and they are, yeah, that stick with -60, and you like can work it up, but that's really rare. I find when you start out so far behind. So if you have two campaign managers, one that's just launching quickly, seeing like 1-2 days and then cutting it in order to do completely new tests, new angle, new creative, something like that, versus someone that's trying to like squeeze a little bit here and there. I think the dude that will toss away the campaign and run fresh tests will do much better than someone that tries to optimize something that's so weak to begin with. So like,
Agree. You will lose a lot of money if you start to tinker too much with the campaign. If you start with negative 60% ROI, and if that continues to be on the third day, then like or even on the second, I would just cut the campaign.
it's like a nice relationship, right? When it's like great, then you see the positive ROI straight away. That's how
Yeah,
a winner
exactly.
looks.
Yeah, the winner looks
You
exactly
start to
like that.
date, and then 5 things are super annoying, and you try to work it out with your date, like a low probability of success. Similar. It's like better to try something new. But it's super difficult because then you need to know, you might be doing something wrong. Maybe your copy sucks, so you don't put the messaging together in an appealing way. But then also, I've been saying in many other videos, make sure to do competitive research and have at least a creative that's very close to what you see out there, and then try to iterate away. And then you reference, you benchmark creative. If all of your creatives perform worse than that, then you get a signal. Oh, you're probably not so good. Your messaging is not so good. You need to like change the messaging. You use the benchmark creative to see, oh, are my creatives better or worse? And of course, they should be better. And then they should be in with different angles, different directions, so that you then have options to then zoom in on what's working best. But yeah, now we're going super far into detail there. You suggested that we look a little bit closer at the campaign. Yeah, let's see. I hope I don't have to cut too much, that you should give away too much to people here.
Let me
Let's
see. Allowed to share windows. Yep. I'll share.
Okay, so do we here see, was 1st of March your first day with the campaign?
Yeah, exactly. That was my first day of launch.
So here you pulled up the details about the campaign that we're going to zoom in on, and we see the journey. We talked about that if you have a winner, you see it directly. So you see on your first day, you made ROI of 95%. And also you start to spend at 45, 50 bucks. That's also good. That ties back into another question that I get from people. They start testing at 10 bucks a day or something like that. No problem if you can't afford a higher budget, but if you can, you might as well start at 50 just to have speed. And because the tests will just take longer if you are at 10 bucks, you still will probably have to spend the same amount. You just cut the time until you have a significant amount of hits to know if something is good or bad.
With
Yeah.
with that kind of spend, you're pretty much good to go in 2 days. Like you don't have to wait for a week to be determined whether you want to cut the campaign or just to continue like exploring it. Here, launched the campaign on the 1st of this month, the March, spent 45 bucks, was set up of 3 ad sets and with 3 ads in each ad set.
And how did you find this campaign or this angle and vertical combo?
The vertical was spied on like from external tools, like spying tools like PP ads and like Facebook library. And so it was spied on, saw a lot of creatives about this vertical.
Yeah.
And then just requested the new creatives for that.
Yes. Okay, so you saw like a bunch of different advertisers, I assume, for this vertical, and took it then,
Yeah.
seems to be something that works now. Did you record the keywords that they send the traffic to?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You don't have to show them, but did you you just
Okay.
took them one-to-one?
The keywords I took one-to-one. I
Yes.
didn't do any research on
Okay.
those from that time. Yeah.
See, there's a way to get speed in the process, right? You can't like work on everything. If you see like a lot of people driving traffic to a certain set of keywords, just take them to begin with. It's too early to then also do a keyword
Absolutely.
optimization. You're just in the process of figuring out, does this here work for me? Can I do something with it? So you ordered 3
Exactly.
creatives. Were all of them inspired by the creatives you saw in the spy research?
Exactly. Like the first benchmark is that you find like you make a close copy to the competitors just to set it as a benchmark and then you start to create new creatives and see if they perform better or worse
Yes.
than the copy. And yeah, exactly
Yeah.
like we
Okay.
just discussed. Yeah.
Yes. So walk us through the different days, if you can remember. So you start with your test campaign, then it will take you only on in the evening of the 2nd of March you get the results that you are profitable. So I assume the first possible
Yes.
action you took is on the 3rd afterwards, or how
Yeah, and I
did your
would even
thinking go?
say that so I saw the first positive that the first day was positive probably on third morning.
Yeah.
And then I like started to increase budget and my strategy here is to increase if that's a 30% ROI, I increase by or the 30 or lower, I increase it by $20 or $30. And then if it's above 50%, then I increase it by $50 straight away. So here is the first day I took action. I increased it by $50. It just didn't have enough time to spend it all.
Yeah.
As we see the profits, like you asked like how easy or like
Yeah.
to make $100 a day on a positive campaign. If you have a winning campaign or like winning vertical, you will see it straight away. You don't have to spend weeks with that.
Yes.
Strong budget to begin with if you can afford, then creative test, do 3 different tests. Then on that day, probably requested new creatives, and that they come in batch of 9 creatives. So 9 videos were like requested on this day.
And
And on
how,
fifth,
sorry for interrupting. Like, do you recall out of your first batch of creatives, how big were the differences? Was there like one that stood out by a lot, or were they all about the same? How were the results?
I do remember. So 2 of them were like completely negative, and 1 was positive.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
nice. That's how it should look almost. Then you've
Yeah.
created very different. They should be different in terms of messaging, angle, look and feel, and so on. So
Yep.
then you get these kind of results, right? And okay, so then you saw
Yeah,
a winner, and
exactly.
then you ordered, you say 9 more on that track.
So they do like we order, for example, if we see that one video is performing really well, we do copy it like three times, and then we start to look for a new angle as well.
Yeah.
So you don't sit on in one place only and just hope it will work forever. You just always have to like search for new angles.
Super good. And this example will show there's a lot of people very careful to scale and they overcomplicate. Or should I copy the campaign, start a new one? And here you just see, bam, you can scale 100% straight away from 50 to 100, and your ROI even went up as you did.
Yeah, and
Yes.
like when I just started to do campaigns, scale campaigns, and like work with the campaigns at all, I was super scared to scale
Yeah.
because of the learning process. I was super scared of the learning process. Oh my God, if I increase budget too much, the Facebook goes to learning
Yeah.
again. And what do I do?
Yeah.
But that goes away with the time when you see that you can really scale things up if they are really working.
Yeah. And let's be real, to
campaign,
Facebook, like even a campaign spending $50 a day, that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's
No,
like such a small shrimp in this ocean. So
yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah,
still fine.
like those verticals are like usually about some kind of medicine or health related campaigns.
Yeah.
They have like billions and billions of budgets. So $50 out of it's nothing, absolutely nothing.
Okay. So good. So we are at, you saw a campaign, you ordered a reference batch, you saw that it worked and which creative worked best. Then you ordered new creatives, probably inspired by the winning formula, or that you like went further down that hole of that messaging strategy. Yeah.
I was just about to say that in this point, when you have positive campaign, you just let it run, you scale it, you order more creatives, or you just create more creatives, and you scale it as long as it goes.
Yeah. Good.
And then we have this retract.
Yes, you do. But I think you did it right? Our purpose when we have a profitable campaign, when we're riding a wave of profits, is to see like how far can we push it, and you did that, right? You saw up, and then you calmed down a little bit. You kept on expanding. I'm looking at, say, the nines. How did your thoughts go on the nines? When you saw, okay, 20%, and then you expanded a little bit more. How was the thinking process?
That's a time zone difference. So I saw this number. I saw only
of course,
at 11th morning.
Yes.
So as I saw it's going down from 100 like right to 20, I felt okay. The budget is a little bit too much right now.
Yes.
So let me cut it. The cut should be like at least 1/3 of the budget. So the learning process goes back to zero, and then you start to learn again. And if you have a negative campaign, that's definitely what you should do.
Yeah.
So you probably will get a lower cost per click and like or cost per action. Exactly what I did. $20 probably the budget were set up here. I saw that it's coming down, a big cut of $100, then followed by $50 cut. And then we see that, okay, the cost per action probably went down. So the campaign is profitable again. And I see, and now I know that the working budget is between 150 and probably, and that's where I will keep this campaign.
I think you've chosen a really beautiful campaign because it shows your skill as a campaign manager. You work, but you work with confidence, right? A lot of like campaign managers that start out and let's wait, let's do a little change here and there. You just in both directions. When it works, push it hard. When it doesn't work, push it hard in the other direction and find an equilibrium. And it seems like if you look at the last few days, you found that like more of a stability. I find like when you are at those levels that you've been the last few days, you're at a good spot here, right? You have tested it out. Like there's so much so many unknowns as a media buyer. You have to see where's the limit. Go to the limit, and then find the level that you're comfortable at.
Yeah.
How often do you order creatives or add new creatives?
I order twice a week. The vertical is new, then the creatives are made a little bit like slower. So that would be once a week. But I would say a rule of thumb that you should probably add 3 creatives a week, like at least
minimum,
3 creatives a week. Minimum like 3 creatives a week.
And do you kill the old ones, or do you keep them? That you just have a lot of creatives there.
I mean, of course, I do kill if they don't work. If the cost per action is more than the revenue, then of course straight away like pause the ad set. If it works in a 20-ish% ROI, then I just keep it as long as it performs well.
And in all these days, have you done any keyword optimization?
Absolutely zero.
I think that's also good. thing to know, because a lot of people hope a lot
Mm.
from keyword optimization. And there are cases where you can turn around the campaign. You can have dramatic
There
impact on
are.
it. But you also have the other cases where you take this Chad style approach. You just have
Mm.
keywords, and if they work, they work. And you,
Uh,
like from your comments, like you have a high output of new campaigns instead of spending time like tinkering with an existing one.
exactly. I would say that the keyword change probably work 1 out of 20 campaigns.
Oh, it's on that low
Like
level.
that's a super low level. I would say it doesn't change at all, but I had one success like this week where it was a hair loss campaign and I changed just one word in the keyword section that changed the profitability from 20% to 100.
Mm.
I was just like, but that was a 1 in 20, probably even like lower. So
Dude, I think
that's,
everybody has their own approach, and like if you
yeah.
have had success without working much, maybe you don't give that much love to the keyword optimization. Then you have a ratio
Mm,
than someone that maybe loves doing it. I think it's
yeah.
very individual.
Could be.
What if you look at your journey and during this time as a media buyer? What was the biggest? What lifted your performance the most when you learned? Was there a specific moment or a specific realization or skill?
There was a teamwork and that you stop tinkering on campaigns. So you just go for like volume.
Yeah.
You request fast, like you create campaigns fast, you do creators fast, and then you cut negative campaigns fast. That
Hmm.
changed a lot. And also what is super important is like scaling working campaign. Like without that you can't success.
Hmm. Yeah, as we saw in this little journey here for
Yeah.
that campaign, dare to
Yeah,
push it.
I think many would be scared to lose this 40, 20% ROI profitable campaign because they are scared to scale. And I can see that, I can understand that. But then you won't find your limits with that campaign
Yeah.
because this, our example is about 200, let's say, like this positive campaign. But some campaigns are positive at 600. You
Yeah.
don't know if you don't try.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
then you're just losing potential there.
Yeah. So look at the dollar amount, right? There's people like in these examples also, it's the cost of a coffee per day. It's like you're
Yeah.
not in the game. You're not in the game to be able to buy a coffee, right? You need to make this
Mm.
Lambo money, right? And then in the I think everybody that is in this industry is motivated to make money and has dreams about something
Mm.
significant. So think about your aim, like what do you want to achieve, and then look at the campaign and think, does it bring me closer to this target or
Mm.
not? Because a bunch of $10 a day, 70% ROI campaigns, they're a trap if you then take the time and slowly optimize
Mm.
them and you don't take the step up to the next level. So it needs to be
Yeah,
something that's significant to you also.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
do bigger moves
Mhm.
if you want to.
Yeah. No, but
Things in the
I love
background.
this to dare to strive for speed, basically is what you said.
Mm.
When you dare to embrace a speedy approach, that describes our general philosophy pretty well.
Yeah,
We believe that speed wins over deep analysis. The tricky part is sometimes you need to analyze, but there's so many. I think it's much more common to overanalyze for people in the
I
game
think,
than to
yeah, yeah.
underanalyze.
And at the beginning, you probably will do that. Like, if I remember how I started, of course, I was
Mm.
like looking at every word, every primary text, headlines, making sure they're perfect, spotless,
Yeah,
and they look good. They like it's easy to read. But right now, like some of the campaigns, they don't have primary text at all, or they have only headline. Click here. It was something like super simple.
yeah,
It's not about that. You can at some point, if you like run out of work, you can start to look at those headlines, like primary text and keywords. But the most success comes from the creatives
yeah,
and the good vertical.
yeah. Hey, awesome. Thank you very much for describing this journey here, both your personal journey in the company, but also the journey with this machine, and how you, which decisions you took at what point. I think many people can find it quite useful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ask more in comment section.
Yeah. I'll post a link to your OnlyFans later on then.
You'll see my campaign there.
Okay, Kiril. Thank you again.
Huge. All right. Thank you.